What's up, man? It's White Boy Lockdown Radio. On this one, it's going to be a little bit different of an interview. It's not necessarily going to be a prison interview. It's going to be a guest of mine that has been in the comment sections a long time, and he's a good commenter. He's a loyal supporter, but we also follow each other on IG, and this guy is a musician. And anyone watching this video, you have had to have heard the whole censorship word, especially in the last 40 years, but really in the last year. So it's going to be a music type of thing from somebody making videos and somebody making music. We're just going to wing it. You can put a face to words for once, and let's go ahead and bring them on. All right, man, what's up? It's White Boy Lockdown Radio. We got Josh. You guys might know him from the comment section. He's been a supporter a long time. He was in a band at one point, and what we're going to talk about today is a pretty interesting topic. You know, censorship is killing us, man. It's we are starting to see it more and more and more, and it's getting out of control. And from somebody being in music at one point, you know, playing in a band and everything else, even to this part where I'm making videos, putting them on YouTube. You see it in almost every aspect of life, man. And that's what we want to chop it up about. What's going on, Josh? How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. So yeah, man, you know, me and you were talking off this thing, and how you'll have mainstream people that will promote, like the dude Lil Nas X that wears blood Nikes. He's, you know, flamboyant gay. They will promote that and put him on deals and everything else, but they will hide certain bands and label them racist and everything else, you know, with the quickness, man. You know, it happens a lot your way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I see it all the time. It's like, there's just certain things you can't buy. There's certain things you can't listen to. The internet just, you know, picks and chooses what's acceptable and what they want people to be exposed to. You know.
No, absolutely, man. It's crazy. It's getting out of control, man. You know, skinhead bands have it bad as well, man. You know, growing up, I remember, it's weird how this thing has changed. I remember growing up, the first time I ever heard of censorship was like back with rap records. You remember that? When they had it in rap music? You there?
Yeah, I mean, that's how it sings. It's like with rap music, it's everywhere. But with like you were saying, with rock and roll and anything like that's labeled rock against communism or anything that's right wing oriented politically, you know, they put a label on it, and they don't want people to know about it. And even if the music is just political, but they're not saying anything deliberately racist, it's you know, it just has that label on it, and it's just. And the thing I don't understand is how communism now, I mean, I don't want to get too political, but anything that's right-wing oriented, anything that's related to like the band Screwdriver, which to me I can understand why some people might not be into the politics, but musically they were a good band for several years. You know, maybe the last few years it was more like more hard rock and less oi what they were in the beginning, but you know, people just, they latch onto the politics, and that's what they seem to be, you know, what steers everything, you know?
No, absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know, it's weird, man. It's weird how lately you see it as like an uprise, man. I know you got to remember Rage Against the Machine. A lot of people don't even know that was a political band, but they were never censored, man. And it's just crazy how it's growing, man, and it's weird to watch. You know what I mean? It's definitely strange to watch. Like you said, with right-wing stuff, man, everything is censored, everything's hidden. You know, the weirdest part about this is people will cheer it on. And it's like, man, I don't get it. I understand there's division and people, but for one side to cheer it on because it may not be happening to them is probably the dumbest thing in my eyes, man, because it's them today and it's you tomorrow. Whenever you let censorship in, whenever you let it in to be accepted freely, man, if that makes sense, it's out of control, man. You see it a lot on these social media platforms too. It's if you almost have to be down with the gay stuff, or even a channel like this, if I was on here talking black or trying to be acting like a black dude, I can guarantee you the numbers would be much better over here. The straight white male nowadays is the enemy, and is not the enemy, but they portray him as the enemy, and they want to censor any message that comes from that. It's out of control, man. I don't know. Where do you think we'll go from here, Josh? I mean, it's a tough subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see it getting any better, because it's gotten progressively worse in the past few years. And it's just, for me, I've been into rock and roll since I was a kid. I grew up being a huge fan of the Beach Boys and the Ramones, and like just, you know, what would be considered white rock and roll. And
Yeah.
you know, like I've gotten crap over the years of, you know, because the Beach Boys had such a white image in the 60s. And when all the hippie crap came into play and became the thing, you know, they weren't considered cool anymore, even though they continued to, you know, have moments throughout history where they've had milestones and hit records. But to me, it's like people look at that, and, you know, because it was geared toward white people, it's mostly white people that, you know, I guess that the music is, you know, like I said, geared towards. I don't see what's wrong with that. They try to, you know, take the image like it's corny or it's stupid, and anything that's black or anything that's, you know, left-wing liberal is cool and acceptable. And to me, it's just, I don't understand that. It's just all supporting a narrative. It's all politically based, you know?
No, absolutely, man. I totally agree with that, man. You're from out west, man, and I'm over here on the east. You know, it's cool to see somebody out of Cali that is not on the narrative out there. I think a lot of people, man, when they hear California, it's like a perception that in California everybody is on the left, and in California everybody is, you know, with the liberal agenda. And I know that's not true. You know, out there where you're at, you know, tell them about it. There's got to be a lot of people like you that feel the same way that you are, especially with the censorship, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, just a lot of people, a lot of younger people. I mean, I'm 36. I've been into music since I was a kid, and it just seems like a lot of people, they don't get into music on a real deep level. It's a real shallow thing. It's just background noise. And like out here in California, you get a lot of people that are into like Sublime, and Sublime was mostly a cover band. They were just ripped off a lot of reggae music, a lot of black music. There was hardly anything original about that band. Same thing goes for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, these are bands that got mainstream success and have hit records, but there's nothing unique or original about their sound. And, you know, like all young people, all you hear blasting out of cars everywhere here is just rap, hip hop, dance music. You
Yeah.
hardly hear rock and roll, or, you know, you might hear some country, but it'll be some lame pop country shit, you know?
Yeah. Kane Brown or something like that. Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, it's weird, dude. It's like here where I'm at, it's you don't even have I can't tell you right now in my car, locally, there's no rock station. There is none. There used to be, but there is none. It's almost like it's hidden. And it's funny you said about Sublime. Just hearing you say that, I was thinking about it in my mind. It was very basic, ripped. It was reggae. It was just the way that they did it was a little different. But I can see how that's been pushed, you know, so far, and why it was pushed, I guess. But man, it's I wonder if it is not just being going through censorship, but I wonder if they're hiding rock music in a whole, in a sense, you know what I mean? Because you're all the way in Cali, I'm in Florida, but the same crap is blasting out of cars that you said. It's the same thing. Maybe some cheesy pop country, like a Kane Brown, or, you know, a super, one of these blue check marks. But other than that, it's always the same music, man. It's in everything, man. You just don't see. There is no punk music anymore. I mean, there is, but you don't ever see that promoted like you did. You know, 90s, even the 2000s. It's almost like they're hiding it, man. You feel the same way?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just I mean, pop music, it gets worse every decade. I mean, to me, rock and roll peaked in the mid 60s. And then when punk rock came with the Ramones and really a handful of other punk rock bands, I mean, in California, there were a handful of good bands in the late 70s. You had like early Black Flag and the Surf Punks and Fear and the Minutemen. I mean, there were a handful of good punk rock bands back then. And then by the mid 80s, the whole thing kind of died out. And by the late 80s is when you had the oi bands. A lot of the skinhead bands were starting up in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't hear anything about that now. You know, it's just that whole scene, that whole thing has died out, and you really have to search for it. And you can't go on the internet and find information anywhere. You can't hardly find those records anywhere. The whole thing is just, you have to be connected into the community, and it's almost impossible to get into it, to find,
That's
you know,
true.
like-minded people.
Didn't you say you wanted to give BitChute a little shout out too? You actually taught me something with that. I have a BitChute, but I've been trying to do it and start a BitChute over there, but the password's mixed up. I'm gonna get it eventually settled. But you were telling me before this, to find music like that on YouTube, you can't. But you can go on BitChute and it'll pop right up. A lot of the stuff you can't find.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of music that would be deemed inappropriate on YouTube. You can find on BitChute. I mean, a lot of bands that would be considered racist or you know, rock against communism, oi bands, a lot of that stuff, a lot of the English stuff that has a bad name because of the way the media promotes it. And the media, you know, promotes it as being bad, but it's beyond censorship. It's just hidden. It's just not there.
Hidden.
It's not like there's censor. You're hearing part of it. You're hearing nothing. You have to really search for it.
No, absolutely, man. It's you know, I did a video a while back. They changed the definition of the meaning of white, and you know, they have this agenda out there, but that they're hiding our culture, man. They're hiding a part of our music. You think of rock music. I mean, there's many aspects of it, like you've been breaking down. It could be an oi band, it could be a skin band, it could be just any rock, anything like that. But if you really think of the meaning of it, even as something simple as Beach Boys, which you use an example of, you think of Beach Boys, it is babes, beaches and beer, and music. You know what I mean? And depending what time it is, maybe some doobies in there. But it's a bunch of straight white men, and they always, every rock band, no matter what it is, they always have the chicks with them. They're always straight. You know, they're hiding it, man. It's like they're hiding our culture, man. And that is sad. If you know that, it's sad to see that get hidden, and to see homosexuality get promoted. It's insane, man. It is insane. I'm at a loss of words for it. Exactly. If you really think about it and talk about it, it's insane. You know, it's a shame, man. It really is. Man, I don't know, you know,
Yeah,
where it goes from here, dude. It's sad. I think censorship is scary because if you allow people to tell you what to listen to, who to watch, you have no choice. You know, it's a scary concept, man, and it's definitely here in America, man. And I think it's a very scary road to go down, man. And it's crazy, man. Let me ask you this: you played in a band before, right?
yeah. I've been in quite a few bands, punk rock bands.
You think you're not in them anymore?
No, it's been a while. I mean, ever since I got into some trouble years ago and went to jail and went to prison at the end, I haven't been in contact with too many people with music. I mean, there was a guy I was jamming with last year, and he ended up falling off a roof on a job site and dying, and he left his drum set over at my pad. So,
Damn.
you know, it's real hard for me to find like-minded people that want to play good rock and roll music.
I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
And,
Do you think if you were still playing?
Weird.
Yeah. Do you think if you were still playing in the band, it would be hard to get a gig around California like it used to be when you were playing with them?
Well, not really. I mean, you just have to be kind of connected to the right people, and you can get gigs easily, and it's just really like every band I've ever played in, I've had to compromise some of my tastes. You know, it's like I have to kind of, because I'm a drummer. I've been a drummer since I was 17, and I'd have to kind of, I'd have certain things in common with other guys in the band, but I'd be playing their music. It'd be their songs, and I would just be playing along to it. I'd give them some input here and there, but mostly just being a drummer and that being my only instrument, I'd just be kind of following their instruction.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. At least it's not to the point where there's no gigs available, you know what I mean? But it is sad to think that part of rock in general, man, it's not only, it's sad to think that it's getting hidden behind the scenes and heavily censored. It's frightening, dude. But
yeah.
But yeah, man, any shout outs or anything? I know you're not
No, I mean, I just, I want to thank you for having me on here, and I'm just glad that we could talk about this because it's something you don't see a whole lot of discussion about. It's just, it's something that, like you said, is just kind of brushed aside. It's like like you said, our culture is being hidden and being, brushed aside like it doesn't exist, and they're trying to rewrite history pretty much.
Absolutely. I'm interested. I appreciate you coming on and speaking about it. And I'm interested to read the comments, man. Not so much the little weenie boys that are going to come by and troll, but more or less like-minded people. You would be surprised who we might bring this to their attention just by us talking about it. It happens a lot doing this channel. But there also is going to be people who are well aware of what we're talking about, and they're going to be agreeing, man. But it's just sad. And appreciate the support on the channel, and definitely the time coming on, man. Wish you the luck, man. I hope we can see a change in this dude, and hopefully it doesn't get erased. Hopefully something changes, man, to where it doesn't get hidden. It pisses me off, honestly, man. When you have to go on a different platform. Everybody uses YouTube when they're at a party or when they're in their car or wherever everybody of all types of people, all people go to YouTube and type a song on and put it on Bluetooth and jam it out, no matter where they are. That's probably one of the most used things that's on YouTube. But it's a shame to listen to one genre, to find a certain song, and you now have to go to a different platform to find it because it's so hidden. And that is troubling times, man. And hopefully Josh, it gets better, man. We'll see. All right, brother. Any shout outs or anything?
I hope so. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Right on. Till the next one, man. Stay safe.
No, just thank you, John, man, and just you know, I think you got the best channel going. You and Mick.
Appreciate that, dude. It means a lot. Seriously, man. Appreciate all the supporters, man. Till the next one, man. Stay out, stay safe, stay solid, y'all.
Who said white boys can't jump? Subscribe. Gotchas.